If you are searching the best bear trap guide about Whiteout Survival, if you are looking for how to increase your damage in the bear trap, you have clicked the right video. Hello everyone, how are you all? I am your shield. Today again we are back with Whiteout Survival. In today's video, I am telling you something about the bear hunt. I have done several testing from the bear hunt from last 3-4 months almost, and I have got lot of result about different hero, different formation from bear hunt. Today I will show you my all experiment. Before starting the video, I want to say a lot of people will tell you a lot of different guide about the bear hunt. I am telling you everything in easy, simple sentence. Listen carefully. Okay. So if you want to increase your bear hunt damage for your own rally, if you are in generation 1, let's say you are free to play. If you are in generation 1, don't call any rally. Your rally will not make any damage. Try to join any big spender rally. From generation 2, you can call your rally. That time you can use Flint as your infantry. As Lancer, you can use Molly. And as marksman, you can use Zinman or Bahiti, whatever you want. Or if you get Alonso, then you can start using Alonso. Alonso can be helpful for generation 2, 3, 4. Okay, follow this. Now, when you get Hector, you can switch the Flint with the Hector. You can use either Flint or Hector. It is a very controversial topic. Who make very high damage, Flint or Hector? Okay, you try yourself, either Flint or Hector. And when you go to generation 3, from that time you can use Mia, which can be helpful for generation 12 or generation 13. And you are using Alonso for generation 2, 3, 4. When you get generation 5, that time you can start using Gwen. Gwen can be helpful for generation 5, 6. In generation 7, you can get Bradley, that can be helpful for generation 7, 8, 9. And in generation 10, you are getting Blanchette. It is very much helpful. And if you are free to play, you can try to get Rufus. Rufus is very good for the bear hunt, but very difficult for free to play players. So in one sentence, what heroes you are actually using? Flint or Hector mainly. As the Lancer, you are mainly using Mia. And as the marksman, you are using either Alonso, or you are using Gwen, or you are using Bradley, or you are using Blanchette, or later you can use Rufus. And if you are pay to win, everything is similar. Just use either Natalia or Geronimo. Depend what you have. Lancer, marksman, they are same. I mean, as the Lancer, you are still using Mia. As the marksman, you are using Alonso, Gwen, Bradley, Blanchette, Rufus. For pay to win, only difference, Natalia or Geronimo. Okay, it is the simple word about the bear hunt. You don't need to think anything about the bear hunt. Now, other thing is formation. You have to find out your formation yourself. You can try 10, 10, 80, or you can try 5, 5, 90. Test yourself which formation is working best for you. And how to particularly increase the damage for the bear hunt. If you focus mainly on the cheap gear, cheap charm for the marksman, you can make some high damage in the bear hunt. Or you can upgrade your research, like this research for only marksman, like marksman lethality, marksman attack. Or you can also focus on the fire crystal research. Okay, and some people unlock the Helios marksman first. Normally people unlock the Helios infantry. But if you are only focusing on bear hunt, then you can unlock the Helios marksman first. Other thing you can do, you can focus on the Daybreak Island only for the marksman lethality and marksman attack. And last but not least, you can upgrade the Cyril as much as you can to get some proper damage in the bear hunt. And when you are playing the bear hunt, you can activate your pet skill. That is simple about the bear hunt. Okay. Now I will show you my experiment result. What I am doing from last 3-4 months. I will show you everything. So let's see, guys. So here I am right now. I think my OBS can record the mouse cursor. I think, yeah. So don't get confused about this chart. In the first place, you can see rally color hero. In rally color hero, there is always one infantry, one lancer, and one marksman. Okay, and in the next column, you are seeing rally joiner hero, first joiner, second joiner, third joiner, fourth joiner, and here you can see the formation. Oh, I did not put formation of spelling wrong. All right, and here is infantry, lancer, and marksman, and here is the damage that is counted in the million. Now there is a big controversy with Flint and Hector. Who can make high damage, Flint or Hector? Before starting this chart, I want to show you just one more thing. Just check what is the condition of my Hector and Flint. Here I go. You can see my Flint is almost 4 star and I am getting infantry attack 166%, infantry defense 166%. Defense does not work for the bear hunt. And here you can see my Hector that is giving 388 infantry attack. Also check the widget. The widget giving me some infantry lethality like 6% almost. Exclusive skill does not work for the bear hunt because it is the defensive widget. So you can count the infantry lethality 6%. And here is the Hector. You can see the widgets of the Hector that is giving the infantry lethality almost 44%. But this infantry lethality that is useless because I am using a very small number of infantry, so it will not matter that much. And exclusive skill is useless for both Flint and Hector because both are doing some defensive widget. That exclusive skill does not work for the bear hunt. It will not work. Okay, that is the condition of my Flint and Hector. You see. Also, I want to show you the Blanchette that is fully maxed. I'm getting 1110% stat for the marksman attack. My Rufus also fully maxed. I'm getting 1321% marksman attack. My Rufus have no widgets and my Blanchette widget I'm getting rally troops lethality 5%. Okay. Also marksman lethality 83% coming from the Blanchette widget. It is the basic thing. Now every experiment can have some error. My experiment also have some error. If you want to do this type experiment, you have to put everything constant. Like you cannot upgrade your chief gear, chief charm, hero gear, right? I did not upgrade anything in last 2 or 3 months, but I have done some research right here. And that will do some effect in the experiment. Okay, because it is not constant. Whenever you are doing some research, everything should be constant. Okay. Also, I have done some upgrade in my Daybreak Island, so that can have some effect in the final experiment. But I have not done any major upgrade. I have not done any chief gear upgrade, chief charm upgrade, or anything. And one more error can come in our experiment. When you are doing the experiment, you should use level 1 troop. Okay, level 1 troop, like no fire crystal, nothing. In that case, in that way, you can actually get the proper result. If you are not using level 1 troop, if you are using some Helios fire crystal troop, they have some fire crystal skill or some extra skill, that is some chance based skill, that can have something wrong data in the experiment. Okay, I'm telling everyone who want to do some experiment about the bear hunt, always use level 1 troop. That is the best. Now let's go to the chart and let's see what I have done in last 2-3 months. So here you see the first experiment was Flint versus Hector. It is this one, this full experiment. I think my OBS can record everything. Yeah, the full experiment was here. So I was calling rally with Flint, Mia and Rufus. Now Flint, Mia, Rufus, that has some problem. They have some chance based skill, some turn based skill. So there might be something error. So I have done one more experiment. That time I was using Jesse and Sion to call the rally. If I use Jesse and Sion to call the rally, there is no chance based skill, right? Only Flint is having some chance based skill, some turn based skill. The formation in the first experiment I was keeping 1 infantry. Not 1% infantry, I'm talking about only 1 infantry. And 9% lancer and remaining all the marksman. That means almost 91% marksman. And what damage I was getting? My damage was going a lot of up and down. I was moving between 300 to 400. One damage was 650 almost. 650 million damage, that is really high amount. How this damage was made? The formation was same, 1 infantry, 9% lancer and remaining all marksmen. And the joiners were Sioun, Jasser, Bradley. Sion has the attack up skill, attack up 25%. Bradley also have attack up 25%. Jasser have the damage up skill, so there is like 50% damage up, 50% attack up. That made 650 million damage. Otherwise, I was getting like 288 million damage, very much low. 490 million, that is average. 398, that is also somehow fine. Like I was moving 350 to 400, something like this. Okay, but it is very much difficult to get any result from this one. It is a chance based skill, turn based skill. So I have done one more experiment. That time I used Flint as the infantry, obviously. As the lancer and marksman, there is Jesse and Sion. The joiner was fully Jasser. And this time I was using 10-10-80. 10% infantry, 10% lancer, 80% marksman. And here is the damage. Don't laugh at this. 187 million, 190 million, 171 million. Okay, that is pretty much 170 million to 190 million, something like this. You can see the difference. When I switch to Jesse and Sion as the rally caller, the damage dropped to like 190, 200, something like this. Okay, that is from the Flint. And okay, now I am showing you the Hector. Here you can see same, the Mia and Rufus, they are constant. Okay, Mia and Rufus, they are constant, there is no change on them. Flint was using Mia and Rufus, Hector is also using Mia and Rufus. And the joiners are different in different case. I cannot do anything with this. Sometimes some different people join and people join with wrong joiner, wrong hero. I have to kick them from my team. So this type of experiment take lot of time, lot of like you understand, it is so much difficult. And formation was same again. Only 1 infantry, 9% lancer, remaining all marksman. And you can see the damage of my Hector, 223 million, very much low. 361 million, that is somehow average. Almost 300, that is also average. 290, that is bad. I mean, if you check my Hector damage, overall it is going below than Flint. Okay, now formation can play some role. I cannot do with that. I gave same formation to both Flint and Hector, so yeah, I think I should give them some different formation. Like Hector have one skill that increase the damage for infantry and marksman. So in that formation, I should give like lot of infantry, lot of marksman, very less number of lancer. But I did not do that. I was giving equal chance to both of them. So overall, I see if I use some chance based skill, turn based skill like Mia and Rufus, the Flint is becoming the winner. I mean, Flint is making somehow more damage. They are very close, like 312 million, 320 million, not a big difference. Or 400 million, 398 million, not a big difference. Here you can see Hector is the winner. And 361 million, 345 million, not a big difference. Still, I find Flint is making somehow more damage. And if I take this experiment, this one, I think my mouse cursor is recording in the OBS, I think. Okay, so Hector, Jesse and Sion. Jesse and Sion as rally caller to give solid skill. No chance based skill, no turn based skill. This time also the joiner was Jasser. I mean 4 Jasser, not 1 Jasser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Jasser. This time also the formation was 10-10-80. When I was using Jasser, I was using 10-10-80. Like this type experiment. Flint, Jesse, Sion with 10-10-80. Hector, Jesse, Sion again with 10-10-80. And look at this type damage, like 165 million, 170 million, again 165 million. that is very close to each other, but still I find Flint is making somehow more damage. That's why I announce Flint as the winner, and I say Flint is better than Hector when you are calling the rally in the bear hunt. Bear trap. Now, a lot of people can disagree with me. They can say Hector is better, but I I find for me Flint is working better. Now I could experiment with some different formation, but it will be a very big experiment. I have to wait like more than 4 months or more, something like that. By doing that, my generation will change. Like I cannot get Rufus. I have to get something different. Okay, but as of now, I can say my Flint is becoming the winner. You see that? I mean, in both cases, when I am using Mia and Rufus as the Lancer and Marksman, Flint was winner. When I was using Jesse and Sion, still Flint was the winner. And I showed you already what is the star of my Flint, what is the widgets of my Flint. So in the first experiment, I can tell you guys my Flint is winner. Now I have some more experiment I want to show you one by one. Here is the second experiment. I was doing Blanchette versus Rufus. So this time my infantry and lancer, they should be constant. So I made Hector and Mia, they are fully constant. There is no change on Hector and Mia. Alright, Hector and Mia. So this time as the joiner, I was trying to use full Jesse. Okay, it was so much difficult. Like if anyone else joining with some Jasser or Sion, I had to kick him. It took long time for this particular experiment. Full Jasser as the joiner in every case. And this time I changed my formation. I was using 5-5-90. 5% infantry, 5% lancer, 90% marksman. And you can check when I was using Blanchette, my damage was somehow low. It is between 230 million to 350 million, something like this. 232, 233, 387, 310, like this. I mean, it is a low damage. My Blanchette is giving me low damage. But when I switch my marksman to Rufus, Hector Mia constant, the change is only Rufus. It is Blanchette versus Rufus. This time I see my damage is slightly higher. I mean, Rufus is making more damage than Blanchette. Now, if you are free to play, I don't force you to get Rufus, because Blanchette comes in the lucky wheel. If you already get Blanchette from the lucky wheel, max it, then I think it is fine. Don't force yourself to get the Rufus. Okay, Rufus is pay to win hero. But in this experiment, I find Rufus is better than Blanchette. So here I declare Rufus as the winner. Okay. Now you can tell me I should do the experiment with some infantry or some lancer who don't have the chance based skill, who have some constant skill. It is so much difficult to do that type of experiment. This experiment alone took a lot of time. Like you think only 5-6 rally, but to just report this 5-6 rally, I have to wait like 2 months. Okay, so it is so much difficult. And between Blanchette Rufus, I can say Rufus is the winner. When the joiner was fully Jesse, and here you can see the formation was 5-5-90. Now I made one more experiment, that is Flint versus Geronimo versus Natalia. Because between Flint and Hector, I declare Flint as the winner. Now I want to find who make more damage, Flint, Geronimo or Natalia. So here you can see Flint, Mia, Rufus, one experiment. Geronimo, Mia, Rufus, one experiment. Natalia, Mia, Rufus, one more experiment. But I have not done this experiment. These are done by some whale. And I want to thank this guy. Go to my alliance, and some players actually helped me for this experiment. Yeah, I thank this guy for helping me in my experiment. Also, I thank this guy for helping me in my experiment for the bear hunt, because I don't have Geronimo or Natalia to high level. Those guys help me with their max stats to find out who is better. So let's go back to our chart. And you can see when I was using Flint, Mia and Rufus were constant. I mean, Flint, Geronimo, Natalia, they were changing, but Mia, Rufus, they were constant. Also, the joiner was constant, full Jesse team. Now, there is some theory. If you use 4 joiner, I mean, they are same, like 4 Jesse, 4 Jasser, or 4 Sion. There is something wrong in the damage. The damage go down. If you use same joiner in 4 number, but still I used this one in my experiment. Okay, and the formation was 10 10 80. Now why I give 10 10 80? I think most of the people they use 10 10 80. So the formation was 10% infantry, 10% lancer, 80% marksman. So Flint first time made 1.9 billion damage, second time made 2 billion damage, third time 2.1 billion damage. It is pretty much close, almost 2 billion damage. Okay, now with the Geronimo, Mia and Rufus they are constant. Okay, even Jesse that is also constant. Formation is same. Geronimo made very high damage, 2.8 billion damage, 3.3 billion damage, 3.1 billion damage. That is far better than Flint. So I say Geronimo is better than Flint. Now what about Natalia? Natalia made 1.7 billion damage, 2.3 billion damage, 2.6 billion damage. So Natalia is better than Flint. Some damage, Natalia, Flint, they are very close. But overall, I can tell Natalia is better than Flint. Geronimo is better than both of them. So I put Geronimo as number 1, Natalia as number 2, Flint as number 3. And here I can declare Geronimo as the winner. Okay, so these are some experiment you saw here. Flint versus Hector, I declare Flint as the winner. In Hector versus Blanchette, Blanchette versus Rufus, I declare Rufus as the winner. And here Geronimo is the winner. I put like this. Now I have one more experiment to find out what is the best formation. Now this type of experiment is very difficult to do because look what I used. As infantry I used Sergey. As lancer I used Jesse. As marksman I used Sion. Why? If I use Mia or Rufus or any other thing, there will be something chance based skill, some turn based skill. That will be problem. I have to put some fixed hero fixed skill. That's why I use Sergey, Jesse and Sion. And this experiment was done actually long ago, like when I was Far Crystal 6, almost that time. Actually, it was in different Excel sheet. I had to transfer it, shift it here. So here, all the 4 joiner, they were Jasser. I mean, both case. Okay, what versus what you see here? One formation was 1-4-95, 1% infantry, 4% lancer, 95% marksman. Another formation was 10-10-80. But actually I cannot find out the actual result. You see I put no result for this experiment because their damage were pretty much similar. But I saw 10-10-80 is working better. 10-10-80 is somehow making little bit better damage. But I can tell no result because it is difficult to find. You know why there is some up and down in the damage, even though there is some fixed hero like Jesse, Sion, both have fixed skill. Formation also fixed. Then why there is up and down in the damage? It is for the Fire Crystal troops. Fire Crystal skill trigger sometime, not trigger sometime. That's why there is up and down in the damage. If I used level 1 troop, like the T1, if I use that, then the damage will be almost similar. But I cannot tell you what is the best formation. I have done 1-4-95 versus 10-10-80 and I put no result for this experiment. And it is very much difficult to do this type of experiment because no one will join your rally when you are calling the rally with Sergey, Jesse or Sion. People will think you are crazy, you have gone mad when you are calling rally with Sergey, Jesse and Sion. Okay, it was so much difficult. I have done this experiment actually long ago when I was almost FC6. Now I am FC9, Fire Crystal 9. So no result for best formation. Okay, and this experiment still going on. I will do more experiment in future. The most controversial topic was Flint versus Hector. I declare Flint as the winner. But if you see your Hector is working better, then you can use the Hector. And people also ask Blanchette or Rufus who is better. I say Blanchette is good for free to play. But if you have Rufus, you can use the Rufus. Also, the best hero for bear hunt, I can declare that is the Geronimo. That whale made billions of damage even in the generation 11. So Geronimo is the best. This is a long term experiment and it is still going on. I can make some other video in future on this if you guys tell me. And watch the first part of the video what I told how to increase your damage in the bear hunt, and second part of the video that is just my own experiment. If you guys have any question, you can just ask in the comment. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and bye bye.
About you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again, just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling?